Want to get involved? Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news, updates, debates and my opinions. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner. I've got a mint in my mouth. I don't know why I started with a mint in my mouth. It was a terrible idea. Please subscribe. We're about 30 away from 5,000 subscribers. I hope you've all had a fantastic day. We're over halfway through the week. It's a Wednesday evening. We're over halfway through the week. Shamake, Ash, Tom, Jake, Gabe, good to see you all. Hope you're doing well. Loads of news to get into today, actually. Just lots of different stories on different players that we'll talk about. Ross, good to see you as well. So obviously we've got arguably even worse news than yesterday about Jurrien Timber. An update on Simican, who of course was a potential option way earlier in the summer, who might now be an option again. João Cancelo. Kieran Tierney, Nuno Tavares, Nicola Pepe. There's lots to talk about, so we'll get into it. Adam, SAS does stuff, Bobby Cool, Sam, Caleb, Stormite, Ethan, JP Meyer. Good to see you all. Sorry if I missed anyone's name. But let's start at the top. And of course, starting at the top is the terrible news about Jurrien Timber. We found out yesterday that it was bad, and it's even worse than we thought. So, this was a statement from Arsenal. Further to detailed assessments with consultant specialists since Saturday, we can confirm that Jurrien Timber has sustained an injury to his ACL in his right knee. Jurrien will undergo surgery in the coming days, and will be out of action for a period of time. Now, it doesn't say how long that period is. It also doesn't say what the injury to his ACL is. It sounds like it's a tear, not a rupture, which is the best of the bad news. It means his recovery is 6 to 7 months rather than 9 to 12 months. But in reality, it probably means he's out for the rest of the season. Because you can get back in 7 months, 6 or 7 months. But in terms of getting back to full fitness, right at the end of the season, where it's, the levels that are at their highest, in theory, if you're still in a title race and later stages of tournaments, it's probably not going to be worth bringing him back until next season. And there is quite a high rate of re-injury, especially for young players coming back from ACLs. Not just the risk of doing the ACL again, but because you've been off for so long, you get other injuries. Because you've not really properly performed at that level for 6 to 7 months, you end up pulling muscles, straining muscles, doing groins, all sorts of other things. So it is likely that we don't see him again until 24-25, which, when you put it like that, is absolutely gutting. Absolutely brutal. A player that I think, across the board, I've almost not seen every single Arsenal fan agree on something as much as Timber was an unbelievable signing. And so for this to happen, it's brutal. It is brutal. 6 to 7 months, unless you're Granit Xhaka. Yeah, basically. End of season, he could be an impact sub, possibly. But it's whether or not you want to risk that, basically. So pissed about it. We're so fucking excited. I know. Magnus, no problem. Good to see you. Like a new signing in 24-25. I know, but it's not quite the same as the new signing that he was in 23-24. And so, of course, what that opens up is the potential for Arsenal to need to go back into the market. Now, we spoke yesterday about Castagna, Kyle Walker-Peters as options. According to Ed Aarons in The Guardian today, he said it remains to be seen whether Arsenal rekindle their interest in RB Leipzig's defender Mohamed Simican following Jurrien Timber's injury. Simican could cost in excess of £35 million. Now, the issue with this for me, Simican I think is a great option. We discussed it. Obviously, if you're a newer member to the channel, you wouldn't have seen it, but we discussed it long before the Timber signing, that Simican was an option. He's quite similar to Jurrien Timber. He's played a fairly similar number of games at right centre-back as he has at right-back. He's got that versatility, and it would be an option. My issue is that if he's costing in excess of £35 million, That's not a temporary replacement for Jurrien Timber. That's just a replacement for Jurrien Timber. It's too much money. So I don't see us doing that personally. Could we do a loan deal like we did with David Raya? Well, this is another option. And I think a loan deal is probably what we end up doing. Sport are saying Arsenal are back in the race for João Cancelo. What are you eating? It's a mint. I really just need to get rid of it. But it's quite annoying me. I don't know why I did it. But yeah, Sport are saying that Arsenal are back in the race for Cancelo. How long is Timber out for? 6 to 7 months probably. Which in effect, once you combine the time to recover to fitness and stuff, he's probably out for the rest of the season. Yeah, so Sport are saying Arsenal are back in the race for João Cancelo. No more than that. It's coming from Sport, who are a completely hit and miss source. I don't see it happening. It's once again, it's Man City's player, and I don't see Man City doing us any favours. We've seen today, Laporte is likely going to Saudi Arabia now, certainly not coming to Arsenal. And Cancelo's a bit of a problem. He's got big attitude issues, and I don't think he'd start. And that would be where the issues would come from. So I don't see us going for Cancelo. I wouldn't be surprised. To see a Kyle Walker-Peters loan with an option to buy. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. I think that's, if I had to put money on any outcome, it would be that. Kieran Tierney, Sky Sports Keith, saying Newcastle United and Arsenal are locked in negotiations over Kieran Tierney. The Magpies want a loan deal with an obligation to buy, which means the deal is difficult as Arsenal want a straight sale. And we know Arsenal need the straight sale because we need the money. Newcastle can't do the straight deal because they can't spend the money. They're in the same position as we were with Raya, where they want that loan with an option to buy. And Arsenal are in the position where we need to sell him, really. Which opens up other doors. West Ham have recently inquired about him. And also Aston Villa may become an option with Luca Digne moving closer to a deal with Saudi Arabia. So Luca Digne could go to Saudi Arabia, which then opens the door for Tierney to go to Aston Villa. Arsenal are prepared to wait until their valuation is met. The valuation is around £35 million. The club are confident that with the amount of parties that are interested in him, that fee will be matched. So basically, Arsenal are confident the amount of teams that are interested, that are going to need to buy a left-back before the end of the window, and with the level of player that Kieran Tierney is, we should be able to get 35 million for him, which would be fantastic. It would be fantastic. Someone sent a peach on TikTok. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Is Kyle Walker-Peters on loan a better option than bringing in a youth player like Ruel Walters? I don't know. That is the other option. And for me, Ruel Walters still is a big option. I like him. I think physically he's mature enough to play. And so for me, what I would say is this. If we don't bring in anyone else, it's not the end of the world. Because I think by the time that you might actually need to rely on someone like Ruel Walters, he'll have had more time to develop as well. So it's not the end of the world for me. Just trust the youth. I agree to an extent. The only issue with that is that, again, if you get to the tail end of the season, and again, this is something that we can address. If it's not working out by January, we can go into the January market and address it with a 6-month loan till the end of the season if we really need to. But, you know, for me, it's an option. Ruel Walters is an option. Kyle Walker-Peters is by far a better option than a guy who hasn't had one senior start. I agree, but like your logic to that would mean that no academy player ever played again. Because at some point, they have to make their first senior start. At some point, you have to trust them. So it's tricky. It's tricky. Last player who plays right back and left back we got on loan from Southampton was Cedric. Kyle Walker-Peters is a lot better than Cedric, thankfully. Nuno Tavares. This came out this morning. It was an exclusive from Fabrizio Romano. Nottingham Forest have submitted a formal proposal to sign Arsenal left-back Nuno Tavares on a permanent deal. Forest trying top signing as new fullback as negotiations are still ongoing. Also on player side, deal on. So there you go. So potentially Nuno Tavares to Nottingham Forest on a permanent deal. And according to Charles Watts, Arsenal are looking for around 15 million euros. So 11 or 12 million pounds for Nuno Tavares. And by the way, Nuno Tavares could become a very good FPL signing, because I think he's only 4.5 million. And if he goes to Forest and he starts and they play a back five where he's a left wing back, he will score goals. Didn't we ask for 45 last year? For Tierney, I'm not sure. Definitely not for Nuno Tavares. Do you think anyone will come for Cedric this summer? No, I don't. Following Balogun, the latest on him, according to James Benge, AS Monaco are expected to submit a new bid for following Balogun. Nicola Pepe is also closing in on a move to Besiktas. Now, I think Balogun ends up at Monaco. One of the major reasons being they're desperate. They are desperate. They've lost Briel and Bolo for the season with an ACL injury, and they've also just sold Kevin Volland. There's also talk around Ben Yedder to do with some naughty things. So it might be they end up with no strikers going into the new season. So I think Balogun will go there. I think that's where it ends up. I think they get desperate enough to meet close enough to what we're asking for following Balogun. And then on to Pepe, off the back of what James Benge said about Pepe closing in on a move to Besiktas. Nicola Pepe is unable to terminate his contract with Arsenal. The Ivorian may join Besiktas on loan with an option to buy. Now, I don't understand really why Pepe can't terminate the deal. I don't understand. There were a couple of Turkish reporters today that said Nicola Pepe is unable to terminate his contract with Arsenal. And that's causing issues because Besiktas ultimately want us to just terminate it and take him on a free. I don't know if it's to do with his agents. I think it's to do... If I had to guess from what we've heard previously, it's to do with his agency. Basically, Pepe is willing to terminate the contract, forego the final 7 million quid that he would get from that contract in order to move to Besiktas. But his agency are not letting it happen. From what I understand, it's not Pepe that is insisting that the contract is paid off. It's his agency, which is causing an issue. So it might be that he goes on loan. The issue is, if he goes on loan, I guarantee that loan will involve us paying the majority of his wages. So to all intents and purposes, it would be fairly pointless for us. Who is one player who has played for Arsenal who flopped that you wish worked out? A player that flopped that I wish worked out. Do you know what? I don't think he was a massive flop, but I would say Lucas Torreira. And I feel like Emery kind of ruined him at Arsenal. And I think he could have had a far, far better career with Arsenal than he did. His agents will want to pay off most likely. Yeah, basically. Do you think Kudus will be a deadline day signing? I don't know. So according to Fabrizio Romano, with Mohamed Kudus, according to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal haven't spoken to him since the end of July. Arsenal haven't spoken to him since the end of July. And as it stands, are not looking to reopen conversations, which is very sad in my opinion. Pepe, they do not want to lose money. He will leave on loan and we pay half his salary. Yeah, basically. That's what I would imagine will happen. Bellerin. Yeah, I mean, Bellerin wasn't a flop in the sense that he had an exceptional period of time at Arsenal. It was just very unfortunate he got that injury and he never came back from it. And that's the worry with Jurrien Timber. There's no guarantee that these players come back from these injuries, the same way that they were. And that they ever reach the level that they did. I think we've seen it with Virgil van Dijk as well. Rory, did you watch the game today? Russo is proving to be a better player by the game. Yeah, unbelievable. England 3-1 against Australia, through to the final of the World Cup. And Leslie Russo, Arsenal player that we signed on a free from Manchester United this summer, got a goal and an assist in that game. So big ups to Leslie Russo. And then finally, a name from the past, Konstantinos Mavropanos, the Greek. According to ex-West Ham United employee, Konstantinos Mavropanos could be a mystery player for West Ham, and the Irons could be close to sealing a deal for the Greek player. Why is that relevant? Because Arsenal have a sell-on clause for him. So Arsenal may make some money from the sale of Konstantinos Mavropanos to West Ham United, which would be fantastic for us. It would be made even better by the context around that signing being they would be signing Mavropanos because they couldn't sign Harry Maguire. So instead of United getting 30 million for Maguire, Arsenal get a bit of money from a sale of a player that isn't at the club anymore. Do you think Arsenal have got a chance for Ansu Fati? No, I don't. So Ansu Fati is leaving Barcelona. It's been confirmed. I don't think Arsenal will be in for him. How much is the sign-on clause? I don't know. We won't find out. I don't think that's the sort of thing you don't normally find out until the deal goes through. Must be the first stream I've caught in a week. Well, I appreciate you being here, Ben. Good to see you. Chelsea is selling Lewis Hall, which is ridiculous. Arsenal should buy him since Timber is out. I think that's crazy. I've heard that they're selling Lewis Hall and Maatsen. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Every time I've seen him, I thought he looked really good. Saw him a couple of times in pre-season, thought he looked really good. I'd happily take him at Arsenal. Do you see Chelsea going for Kudus because Ziyech is going to Galatasaray? Yeah, possibly. Although, again, like, what the hell are they doing? Realistically, Kudus' best position is right wing. I know we'd use him as an 8 a lot, but they've got Enzo, Caicedo, Lavia. If they buy Kudus, like, what are they doing with Elise and Madueke? Is Cancelo a shout? Yeah, well, we said, according to Sport, Arsenal are back in the race for Cancelo, but I don't think it'll happen, personally. I don't think it'll happen. What would you think to the signing of Doku from Rennes for 35 mil as competition for Saka? I think it would be fantastic, but by all accounts, Doku is going to Manchester City, which speaks for itself in terms of probably the quality of the signing. What attacker do you think we'll get with the Balogun and Tierney money? I don't think we will get an attacker. I think it will be, if it's used again this summer, I think it will be for a midfielder or potentially a defender. I don't think it will be an attacking player. From everything I've heard, Arsenal aren't really in the market for another attacking player before the end of the window. Gutted for Timber. He looked so good and he was so happy playing for us. Just so unlucky. That's the thing. It is. It's just unlucky. I saw a clip today from Lee Gunner blaming Arteta for Timber's injury. Apparently it's Arteta's fault for playing Timber at left back on a side that he's not used to. The bloke would blame Arteta for bad weather. And I've also seen people blaming the medics. And again, I don't think it's their fault. They did an assessment. They concluded that he was fine. Timber felt fine. And by all accounts, the injury itself was nothing to do with the injury he got in the first half. Have you seen a trusted Portuguese journalist say that Arsenal have been heavily linked with Mehdi Taremi? I've not. I'll look it up now. Taremi, Arsenal. I mean, there's nothing on Twitter in a long, long time. So, I don't know about that. Timber was injury prone at Ajax. No, he wasn't. Timber at Ajax, the most Timber ever. We're just going to prove that wrong. I'm fairly sure, and I'm just going to make sure that I get this completely accurate. I'm fairly sure Timber never missed more than 13 days with an injury. He missed 20. So the most Timber ever missed was 26 days, and it was for pancreatitis. Other than that, he missed 23 days with coronavirus. So they're 2 illnesses. So in terms of actual injuries, he's never missed more than 13 days. And last season, in the entirety of last season, he missed 1 game, again, through illness. January of 2023, he missed a game through illness. July 2022, he had a knock but didn't miss any games. April 2022, he had a knock and missed 2 games for Holland, so he probably wasn't injured. It would have been international friendlies that he didn't play. March 2022, he had a knock where he was out for 13 days and missed 3 games for Ajax. November 2021, he had a knock and missed 2 games for the Netherlands, which means he probably wasn't injured. And then he had stomach complaints in September 2021 where he missed 1 game. So in terms of injury, you couldn't have been further from the truth. In terms of actual injuries, this is the first proper injury he's ever had. I've just clocked I'm in Spain for the World Cup final. Come on, you Lionesses. Love that. Thomas Partey had a similar injury record before coming to Arsenal. Yeah, it's just luck. Ultimately, it can really just be bad luck. I'm waiting for the most random David Ornstein exclusive tweet that will link for someone that we've never been linked to. You're not wrong. Timber likes to pull a sickie. Yeah, that's different. And look, to be honest, genuinely, right, looking at that injury history, the fact that he's missed all of those games for the Netherlands during both of those occasions is during the height of the season where he's been ill and missed Netherlands games. I love that. I love that. If he's going to do that whilst he's at Arsenal, if he's going to avoid going on international duty, happy days. When can we order the third kit? I believe, actually, Friday. I think Friday the third kit is being announced. Thoughts on Laporte going to Al Nassr? Crazy fee, 16 million apparently for Laporte to Al Nassr, which is mental. Did you see the Man United statement about Mason Greenwood? I did. I don't want to talk about it too much. To be honest, I've learnt my lesson. The only time I ever talked about the Thomas Partey situation, it came back to bite me. So I don't really want to talk about it. The one thing I would say is I feel sorry for Man United fans that don't want him back. Because I understand exactly why they don't want him back, and they're not, they're put in an impossible position where they will be forced into supporting the club and by default supporting Mason Greenwood, whilst absolutely not believing that he should be there, and that's a very difficult position to be in. Lee Gunner is such an I told you merchant. Yeah. I mean, the less said about him, the better. Genuinely, right? I was watching this clip. So first of all, he's blaming Arteta for Jurrien Timber's injury, which is insane. Then he starts talking about the performance against Nottingham Forest, criticising Partey playing at right back, even though for the majority of the game he was in midfield, saying that Rice was playing as a 6, even though he's an 8, despite the fact that Rice wasn't playing as a 6 and was playing as an 8. Do you know what it reminded me of, right? It reminded me of, it's like he doesn't really understand football. He knows what's happening, but he doesn't really understand it. It's kind of like if I watched what was that Korean TV show that did really well on Netflix? What was that show called? What was it called? The one that went crazy. What was it called? Squid Game. Watching Lee Gunner talk about Arsenal and the way we play, because Arsenal played quite a technical way, same as if you watch Man City, and it can be quite, it can be difficult to analyse it, and you need to understand the game. And when I watch him talk about Arsenal and the way he did in this clip, it was unbelievable. It was like if I watched Squid Game without any subtitles and no dubbing, and so had no idea what anyone was saying for the entire series, and then tried to explain the series to someone. It's like I can tell you what was happening, but I don't really have any idea of what was actually happening. So it's like he knows that football is being played on a pitch, and he knows the names of the players, but he can't actually explain anything about what they're doing. And you're watching it, and you're like, you don't actually understand what's happening. So like saying that Partey was at right back, yeah, in defensive plays he was. But we had 80% possession, and for that 80%, Thomas Partey was moving into the midfield. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway. Rory versus Lee on the KSI Tommy Fury undercard. He's not in the country. I think they'd have to host it in Spain for that to happen, unfortunately. What happened to Cedric is... Rory, what happened to Cedric? Is it me or will we have no idea of him? Or we all have no idea. Cedric's just floating around in training. Are you going to the Sidemen match? No, I'm not going to the Sidemen match. Hi, Rory. When will you be on Football Terrace next? Best Arsenal fan on there? Next Monday. No, it won't be next Monday. I'm not sure. Maybe next Monday, but obviously Arsenal play against Crystal Palace next Monday night, so I'm not sure. I can't be on Thursday. So normally, like the normal nights I'll be on there are Monday nights and Thursday nights on the Top 6 show. This Thursday I'm not around, so... Greenwood's back in eFootball. There you go. It's all happening. Lee Gunner is just an Arsenal version of United podcast that had the guy saying we'd finish 8th because it's our modal position. Well, yeah, basically. At least that guy on the United thing tried to sound intelligent. But It's shocking. It's shocking. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Gooner, the game where I give you an ex or current Arsenal player's career path minus the Arsenal part of it, and you have to guess who that Arsenal player is. First person to get it correct in the YouTube chat gets the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community and the wider footballing community, and we will get into it. Do you think you'll do pitch side again? No idea. No idea. In my honest opinion of me doing pitch side, is that it's not great. Genuinely, I don't think it's great just because of the fact that Theo and Reeve are both Arsenal fans. It becomes too Arsenal heavy. For a show that's not meant to be like an Arsenal show, I feel like it becomes too much of an echo chamber of Arsenal fans when I'm on there. Obviously, look, if they want me back, I'd happily do it, but I don't think it's great. Hey, Rory, haven't been able to catch the streams lately, but watch all of them back. Happy I could watch today. Massive appreciation for that, Leah. I really appreciate the people that watch it after I've gone live, because obviously you don't get the interactive part of it, but I do appreciate it. Anyway, guess the Gooner. This player started at Saprissa. They went to Puntarenas on loan. They went to FC Lorient on loan. They went to Real Betis on loan. They went to Olympiacos on loan. They went to Villarreal on loan. They went to Sporting Lisbon on loan. They went to Real Betis on loan. They went to Frosinone. They went to Leon on loan. They went to Leon on loan again. They went to Monterrey, where they went to Leon on loan again, and then Alajuelense. So there you go. We'll go through that again. I don't think anyone's got it just yet. They have. Someone's got it, so I will go back to him. But just in case you wanted to hear that again, Saprissa, Puntarenas on loan, FC Lorient on loan, Real Betis on loan, Olympiacos on loan, Villarreal on loan, Sporting Lisbon on loan, Real Betis on loan, Frosinone, Leon on loan, Monterrey, Leon on loan again, and Alajuelense. And the first person to get it correct, it's Leeds Gunner, who is a very regular viewer of the stream, and he's correct. It's Joel Campbell. It is Joel Campbell. So congratulations to Leeds Gunner. I nearly called you Lee Gunner then. What? Jesus. Lee Gunner on the mind. Jake Matterford was second. Francisco Oliveira was third. Holdini Gooner Legend was fourth. And Hallen was fifth. So there we go. Congratulations to Leeds Gunner for winning. And congratulations to everyone else that got it correct as well. And the people that got it correct in the TikTok chat. Well done to you. Is that the Costa Rican guy? It is the Costa Rican guy. Joel Campbell. Put some respect on his name. So there you go. There you go. And now on to the Guess the Non-Gooner. Guess the Non-Gooner. This is where I give you a player that has not and does not play for Arsenal, their full career path, and you have to get it right. We're seeing Campbell and was like, Sol Campbell never played for those teams. Yeah, you're correct. You are correct. Sol Campbell did not play for those teams. Rory, what does the Timber injury mean for Arsenal? That's just bad news, isn't it? It's just bad news. It is bad news. Anyway, guess the Non-Gooner. They started their career at FC Den Bosch. They went to Heerenveen. They went to PSV Eindhoven. They went to Manchester United. They went to Real Madrid. They went to Hamburg. And they went to Malaga. FC Den Bosch, Heerenveen, PSV Eindhoven, Manchester United, Real Madrid, Hamburg, and Malaga. Who is first? It is once again Beast Destroyer. Van Nistelrooy. Ruud Van Nistelrooy is the correct answer. Beast Destroyer got it first. It's not Klaas-Jan Huntelaar. Will Gunner got it second. Ross Lawman got it third. Trevor Kamal got it fourth. And Jake Matterford got it fifth. So congratulations to Leeds Gunner and Beast Destroyer, our two winners today. Slightly shorter stream than normal. I'm actually doing something really cool tonight. I think, right, if you enjoy these football quizzes, I'm doing a virtual football quiz thing tonight where you can win money. I think other people can join. I think viewers can join. So keep an eye out on my Twitter, because if there's a link to it, I'll tweet it out. What I do know is that it's Arsenal versus Tottenham, and obviously I'm on Team Arsenal. So if you hate Tottenham, you want to get involved, and you enjoy football quizzes, and I think you could win money if you win, then keep an eye on my Twitter and get involved. It won't be on this channel. No, it won't be on this channel. Ticket exchange open when? It's not up at the moment. Ticket exchange is not open. Anyway, I've got to jump off to go and do this thing. Massively appreciate you all watching. As usual, please do subscribe before you leave if you've not done already. Smash a like on the stream. Have a fantastic evening. And unfortunately, I will not be live again until next Monday for the Crystal Palace game. One of my best friends is getting married this weekend, and I'm going back home for a few days for the wedding. So I won't be live now until Monday for the Crystal Palace game. I apologise. But there we go. Have a good evening, and I'll catch you on Monday. Cheers.